Hey everybody, Fred Sumner here, Broken Branch Outdoors. Today is part 3 of my rabbit video, okay? Of the rabbit hide videos. This is part 3. Now, I want to show you today stretching, softening, and fluffing the hair. Alright, I don't know if just a quick recap. What I'm doing is making a blanket basically out of these hides. They're going to be sewn to another piece of material for my wife. It will be a lap blanket. I got these in a trade guy. I traded some items to a guy to get these. These are homegrown meat rabbit hides, so I'm not out hunting this particular set of hides. But as there are other videos, there's 2 other prior videos to this one. I want to continue the series and finish it and show you today how you can take something that looks like this on the inside. This is the inside of the hide, okay? It's got a little bit of whiteness to it, but it's got all these black spots, and it's real hard, and it's rather stiff. It's not real soft and flexible. And turn it into something like this that's nice and white and creamy and fluffy and soft and plush and and floppy. See what I mean? There's no structure to this. It just falls apart. Okay? And you can see, if you look at the hide, when I run my fingers through it, how it just kind of quickly absorbs in my fingers around it, gets all soft and fluffy and pretty. Whereas this, you can see this one, it hasn't been brushed yet. It's been stretched, but it hasn't been brushed. You can see it's been stretched. Just like that. It's been stretched. Which I just gave it another stretching. Like that. Alright. But it needs brushed. So the whole process to this is stupid easy. And what you're going to do is you're going to take a hide like this, and I'll bring it up close so you can see. Alright. Take a hide like this. And this is the only tools that you need to work this hide right now, are these here. You can use a softening board. You can use the back of a chair. You can use a corner of a coffee table. But in all honesty, these rabbit hides are so soft and so fragile. Use your fingers. You get a better feel for it. And in my opinion, it turns into a better product in the end. So the easiest way to do this is just go up here and grab yourself a piece of rabbit hide and give it a pull. See that? See how that turned colors right there? Let's do it again. Watch. Boom. See how that just went all nice and soft? Then you pull it the other way. You just give it a good jerk. And that is just beautiful. Here, you can hear the difference. And this is all nice and soft now. I'll bring it in close, find a good spot. Here, we'll go right here. Good. There. Hey, point. There it goes. All stretched out. Get it all stretched. And you can feel it stretch in your fingers. You can feel it getting softer as you go. Now here's a key point right here. You gotta get in there on the edges. There's a little lip there that you've got to work and unroll, because sometimes the edges of your hide will roll up on you. See it? And you got to get them flat again. There you go. So it's got a nice flat, soft edge all the way around. And sometimes you will be able to stretch, but you won't get all the coloring out from on the other side of the hide, which is perfectly fine. As long as you get it turning white, like you see that? See how quick that went? Just like that. I pulled it in multiple directions, And now that's all soft and nice and pretty. And I'll do the rest of the side, but not on video. It don't take much. You're sitting in the living room watching TV with the family. Just sit there and pull on it. Now you will get a little bit of residual. Some of this hair will come out. Okay. You're going to get shedding a little bit. But what I do is I take this brush and just brush the hide out. What that does is it lifts the hair to help enable it. If there is a little bit of dampness left in there, it helps it to get the air in there to help dry it out. Fluff it up a little bit. Helps it with its softness. Gets the edges dried out. For some reason, I found that the edges don't like to dry as fast as the rest of the body does, which doesn't seem right because they're on the edge, you know, they're more exposed, but they just don't seem to want to dry out very much. So there. And as you can see, it doesn't take but a couple minutes to get the hide all fluffy. Now, like I said, it still needs to be stretched. Over half this hide needs to be pulled and stretched and softened. So, whoop, stir shit around. You know, and the edges rolled out. Right there, you can hear me rolling the edge on this one. Boom. It will increase the size of your hides. I mean, not to the extent of going from, you know, something the size of an apple up to the size of a watermelon. It's not going to stretch it that big, but it will stretch your hides to, you know, add maybe an inch or so all the way around. But it's very important that you do this step, otherwise your hides are going to be stiff and very unpleasant to work with, or to handle and use for a project. Even if it's on a hat or something like that, you know, you've got to soften your hides. You got to make them pliable. You got to work them. Doing this kind of stuff is not, you know, very nice. Or it's labor intensive. This isn't something you can just go, yeah, whatever, you know, just kind of blow off and get a nice, usable product at the end of the day. It doesn't work that way. You've got to put your time in. You've got to work it. And I know that I could go on Tandy's website right now and order a bunch of pre-made, pre-tanned, pre-stretched, softened rabbit hides from them. And they're running about $12 to $14 a piece. And I could buy a whole bunch and make my wife a blanket out of that. But personally, I think this way is more satisfying because it's handmade. It's not some store-bought stuff. This is handmade. I labored in it. This has got my blood, sweat, and tears in it. And yes, it does have blood, sweat, and tears in it. I've cut myself a couple times pissing around with these things because I wasn't paying 100% attention. So I did bleed on a couple hides, so it's got my blood in it. But, you know, it's for my wife. So, anyway. While we were sitting here and I was rambling on, I just finished stretching this hide. Wrinkle it up, give it a little bit more stretch, and there it is. And if you feel your hide and it feels just a smidge damp, I mean, it's like, oh, that's like cold damp, that's okay. I wouldn't go doing anything with it right away. Give it a couple more days, maybe 2-3 more days, depending on the weather and the temperatures. the humidity level and that kind of stuff. But then after that, you'll be all right. You just go ahead and, you know, give it what for, and you'll be good to go. Let it dry out a little bit more. You might have to give it another brushing. Give it another brushing, and maybe a little bit more stretch, and it'll be perfectly fine to make hat liners, glove liners, all of that. But there is a finished rabbit hide. Stretched, softened, and ready for whatever you may come across to use it for. There it is. Now, just like this nasty looking one here, just a couple minutes. See how the hair is all matted and it doesn't look real good? Looks like a cheap costume from Walmart. Just two or 3 minutes with a hairbrush. Just a couple minutes with the hairbrush. And you can see that I am not being gentle with this. I'm brushing the shit out of it. And now I'm even going against the regular flow of hair, because I want to get all of the loose shedding stuff out of it. Now I fluff it all up, make it nice and fluffy and soft. And like I said, this helps. If there is a little bit of moisture left in your hair, it helps to dry them out. Bring you back. My baby Cleo right here. This is my little baby Cleo. Yeah, that's my kitty cat. Anyway, now you've got a nice fluffy soft hide. Look at how that feels in there. Yep, see, it's nice and smooth. Yeah, but anyway, there it is. Finished rabbit hide. Next video, if I do it, we'll show you how to sew it all up and put it together. So until then, be safe, be happy, be outdoors.